Chapter 2, Spiritual Gifts and Talent. When you engage in a work that taps your talent and fuels your passion, that rises out of a great need in the world that you feel drawn by conscience to meet, therein lies your voice, your calling, your soul's code. Stephen Covey. There are two kinds of talent, man-made talent and God-given talent. With man-made talent, you have to work very hard. With God-given talent, you just touch it up once in a while. Pearl Bailey. When we talk about gifts, some people have a tendency to get these mixed up with talents. The Bible also discusses the subject of spiritual gifts. These are gifts that are given by God to His people mainly for the edification of the Church of Jesus Christ. These are given by God as He pleases, and they include gifts in administration, evangelism, exhortation, giving, healing, helping, teaching, and prophecy. These gifts are itemized in Romans 12 verses 6-8. Having then gifted differing according to the grace that is given to us, let us prophesy in proportion to our faith, or ministry. Let us use it in our ministering. He who teaches, in teaching. He who exhorts, in exhortation. He who gives, with liberality. He who leads, with diligence. He who shows mercy, with cheerfulness. 1 Corinthians 12 also talks about spiritual gifts, and says that there are diversities of gifts and differences of ministries but the same Lord. To another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another different kind of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. 11. But the same Spirit works all these things, distributing to each one individually as He wills. These gifts are given to each one as the Spirit wills. Therefore, can one say, I do not have any gifts or any God-given purpose? My answer would be an emphatic no. We all have been given gifts and a purpose here on earth. What then is the problem? The problem is that some people believe that gifts are for a chosen few, and these people will go to church and be spectators without lifting a finger. This is ignorance. We all should have that desire to find out and liberate our gifts, and use them for the benefit of others as the Spirit intends. A person can have one or more spiritual gifts. I, for example, have discovered that God has blessed me with the gifts of exhortation, teaching, giving, and healing. When I look at these gifts, I understand why I am in the profession that I am in. I love people so much that I am at my best when I am exhorting, teaching, giving, or praying for healing. In my life, I have seen that God's purpose for my life has been intertwined with my profession, and this has worked very well for me. My gift for giving is so profound that I do not feel good if I go for a while without giving. I actively look for needs and fulfill them. Giving is not just about giving money or materialistic things, it is also about giving your time to visit the sick, a needy relative or friend, giving someone a lift to church or to work, and giving anything that you believe will benefit the other person. Exhortation is another gift that is linked to what I do as an HR practitioner and coach. I believe in the brilliance of others and I make it an effort to exhort others. This motivates them and makes them feel good about themselves. I have discovered that when one says, I need a relationship coach or a fitness coach, what they are in effect saying is that they need someone to help them become better versions of themselves. We all want to be better in what we do regardless of how successful we are. The exhortation also gives hope to others. My friends always say that one cannot spend a few hours with me and not be transformed in one way or another. That is me using the gift that God put in me. I like to make people feel good about themselves. I will say things like, you are a great person, you can do this, I believe you can even do this better than me, you have what it takes, just go for it, you will succeed. These words have seen a lot of people in my circles coming out of their cocoons of feelings of failure, defeat, and unworthiness to become great people who are living their dreams and enjoying life. The gift of healing is another God-given gift that I have. I pray for the sick and they get healed. I pray for my family and myself, and I have always been surprised how this gift is manifested without me putting too much effort at all. I remember some years ago, I went to my gynecologist for a tubal ligation procedure. The specialist noticed a large cyst in my fallopian tube. He then advised me that as soon as the procedure had healed, I needed to go back for an operation to remove the cyst. I told him not to worry. When I come back next time, you won't see the cyst, it will be gone, I said. He laughed and just said he would see me when I returned for the surgery. Guess what? When I returned for my checkup, he could not find the cyst. He was shocked and said to me, Mrs. Gundu, where is the cyst? And I asked him, what cyst? He could not believe his eyes. The cyst was gone. I had prayed for my healing and God healed me. I have prayed for a lot of people for healing and they have been healed. This is an amazing gift. God gives us these gifts, but sometimes we do not even realize we have them. It is important to be deliberate about liberating and manifesting these gifts. When you do this, you find real joy in making a difference in your life, and that God gives us these spiritual gifts as He pleases. When one has found out what their gifts are, they need to use them to the benefit of others. I believe that as God's children, we all have gifts. All we need is to be deliberate about liberating and manifesting them. The challenge is assuming that others have the gifts and not making an effort to discover our gifts. Gifts and life purpose can be directly linked to your passion. To be able to manifest them, you need to do a lot of reflection, thinking and assessing your habits. Be able to answer some of these questions. What do I like doing? What do I enjoy doing? What am I passionate about? Passion is what drives you. It is what motivates you to get up every morning. Once you have obtained answers to these questions, you may want to look at what it is that you are doing now. Are you in a career or ministry that you are passionate about? Are you happy doing what you are doing? If not, can you do something about it? For example, if you are a nurse and you are convinced that your passion is in human resources, what does it take for you to shift careers? Do you need to start studies for that career that you are passionate about? Or can you find work in your desired area so that you at least spend time doing what you enjoy? Gift discovery can be a daunting task as well. In some cases, one might need to engage a coach to assist them in this regard. A coach usually creates a safe space for you where you are vulnerable and can air all your concerns, worries, doubts, and fears. Once you have done this, it is up to the coach to assist you in overcoming these fears for you to realize or discover your actual calling. The coach also is a noise reducer and will be able to move you from the noisy area, as it were, to an area where you can hear yourself speak. A noisy area is a place where one hears numerous voices that discourage one to move forward. Such voices are in your head and they will be saying to you, "This is too difficult," or "You are too old to do this, you do not have the qualifications to do this, you are not confident to achieve that, or no one in your family has ever amounted to anything, what makes you think you can do this?" Some churches have pastors or staff that can assist members to discover their God-given gifts, and if you have such pastors, it is a good idea to also seek their guidance. So, what is the difference between a talent and a gift? As alluded to earlier on, gifts are used for God's purpose and can be correlated to talents. Skill and talent can drive an individual to success and fulfill a mandate in life. A skill needs instruction, time, training, and practice to learn. Talent, on the other hand, can be developed into a skill as a demonstrated talent. In 1 Peter 4:10, we are called upon to use our gifts to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace. Just as with spiritual gifts, God wants us to use our talents and skills for the benefit of others. Talents can come through the genes of natural inheritance, whilst gifts directly come from the Lord. Talents are natural whereas gifts are supernatural. Some examples of talents include creating music, acting in movies, writing books, playing a guitar, singing, networking, and even public speaking. Talent can also be said to be a special ability to do something, or an endowment unique to a person. Identifying and liberating your talent. Talents can be identified in some of the following ways. 1. Going through life assessments tests or personality tests that guide you. Some of these are the Myers-Briggs personality tests that help you find out who you are. These can be found on the internet. 2. Reflection on what you love to spend most of your time doing. When you know what you spend most of your time doing, you are closer to finding out your gift or talent. For example, if one spends most of their time playing with children and enjoying it, their gift may be in entertaining children. They might also be successful in opening a creche or daycare for children. If they are into writing, they would do well in writing children's books or stories. 3. Asking your colleagues and family what they think your strengths and weaknesses are. Sometimes we need to hear from others so that we know who we are. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable and open to criticism and advice, you are on your way to finding out more about what makes you tick. Friends and colleagues will tell you as it is if you are willing to listen. 4. What do you spend most of your finances on? Finding out what you spend most of your money on will give you an idea of your talents. For example, if you spend most of your money buying golf carts, golf bags, and various sportswear, it may be an indication that you love the sport. The way to move forward would be then to find out what sport you are good at and what sport you enjoy the most. 5. Find out what it is that energizes you most. Finding out what energizes you most helps to identify your talent. Do you get excited when a friend asks you to go to the zoo to see animals? Do you get so excited that you wake up even 2 hours early because you love animals? This could be a sign you are into animals. If you love them, the idea of going to see animals energizes you. 6. What do you enjoy doing for others, even for free? Do you love helping others with their challenges, with computers, for example? Do you offer your friends free services to fix their computers because you love doing it? This can be a sign you are a talented ICT person. You might then need to consider ways of making this a profession or business. 7. What would make you happy if you were able to change your life? This question helps to retrospect and introspect about what makes you happy. You could be working full-time in an organization, but might realize that you would be happier being an employer running your own business in an area where you enjoy. I realized when I was employed at Turnall Fiber Center in Human Resources that the time had come for me to call it quits. I followed my intuition and started my Flair employment agency. This is a decision that I have never regretted. 8. Who is your role model? Identifying your role model also gives you an idea of what your talent is. For example, is there a musician that you imitate, their dance moves, their voice and style, the way they dress, etc.? This could be a sign that you are into music or dancing. You may then want to further develop yourself in that direction, and you are highly likely to succeed with practice and perseverance. 9. Another way is self-reflection. Carrying out a personal SWOC analysis: S strengths, W weaknesses, O opportunities. C challenges: deliberately looking into your habits, your attitude towards life generally, and also getting feedback from others on what they believe your strengths and challenges are and what they believe your talent or talents are. This takes willpower and effort. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but the analysis leads can help you to get on track to finding out your talent. Talent identification: this requires that one discovers their talent, work on the skills to develop it until it's polished, and then applies it. Continuous development is a must. We can only get better through practice. If you are a talented singer, for example, and you only sing once in a while when maybe you are invited to an event, your talent will very likely be wasted. It's easy to lose a talent through lack of practice. Performers such as actors, singers, and sportspeople go through rigorous training to perfect their talents. We need to do the same once we have discovered the talent. Talent identification or liberation is thus a deliberate effort that one makes to find out what their talent is and then make an